Hello and welcome to what should be the South America Challenge. That is, if King RD actually is able to load into this lobby. Thanks for tuning in. This is going to be game 2 of a best of 3 series between Pain Gaming and Isurus. Pain, fresh off of a game 1 victory over Isurus, mostly due to, in my opinion, the draft. It just looked really solid, all things considered. And although Isurus did have a really good high ground team fight, they just were never really able to put that all together. Any thoughts, Mike?
Yeah, it was definitely a lot of the draft having to do with Payne's victory. They just had a free farming Juggernaut and a Shadow Fiend who was also under pretty much no pressure. So whenever you have two cores free farming, that's usually going to be pretty good for your team. But when those two cores are Juggernaut and Shadow Fiend, then it gets amazingly great. So Isurus, I think they just have to apply a little bit more pressure. They sat back for way too long. They were four manning and for the greater portion of that game, and they weren't actually doing anything with it. So playing a little bit too passively, I think, for Isurus, and they just have to change that up.
Yeah, let's see if they're going to be able to do that. For now, the draft really isn't started yet, as we just loaded in, since there were some loading issues, but it looks like everything is subsided, and we should get into the game pretty quickly. As far as our bans are concerned, two of the heroes that managed to slip through in the first game are going to be taken out here. As the Venge and Troll are banned, but this is going to leave some powerhouses like Bat is, well as, let's see, Lion, maybe even Axe inside the pool. Depends on what Isurus ban out.
Well, it's going to be Vengeful Spirit Shaker. So two supports that were grabbed in the last game that Pain just don't want to deal with. Both these two heroes do have stuns. They can play fairly defensively, but even though it's very annoying to deal with, I don't really think it's too annoying for like any particular hero. It is going to be that Bat to get banned out, and that means it's Axe. It's always going to be Axe. I don't think I've seen a game where Axe is let through to the pick stage and then he's not instantly picked up.
Yeah, and if there has been a game, it's few and far between that we actually see this. It's because Axe is just so good. It's really hard to outright shut him down. Worst case scenario, Axe can go into the jungle and pick up a Blink Dagger. It's still a respectable time. And a Blink Call initiation is just a little too good to pass up for your team. It just works so nicely with what everybody wants to be doing at this point. That's fighting. I mean, Axe, even in the later portions of the game, is still a wonderful pick. For Isurus, they can work around this, and, well, maybe they'll look no further than a Lion. Just anything to disable the Axe and stop him from guaranteed getting off that initiation.
A Lion would be a super powerful pick here for Isurus. I'm kind of feeling Lion Sniper. I feel like that's right in Isurus's wheelhouse. They could also highly grab a Chen, which I have seen them do before, although they completely ignored him in the last game. So going for that, though possible, isn't really the most likely course of action for them. Uh, I think they do like their sniper quite a bit. I wouldn't be adverse to seeing them grab that one right now, but really up against an Axe, there's no amazing picks that you can make that you could say, oh, okay, we have this hero. This is instantly going to counter the Axe. Lion Storm Spirit, though, two very powerful heroes in their own right. And I mean, if you're going to open up with an Axe, then the other team, they're going to have quite a few powerful heroes to work with as well. And, well, it's a good opening for Isurus, all things
Yeah.
considered.
It'll give Axe a run for his money when it comes to initiation advantage over the enemy team. If Isurus can get a Blink Dagger up for their Lion, Blink Hex and the Ball Lightning initiation going out from the Storm Spirit is really darn good. It's also going to dissuade Pain from going for a sniper themselves. You really don't want to pick a sniper into a Storm.
And it's going to force Pain to grab a couple more crowd control effects. And that's kind of unfortunate because they just banned out Vengeful Spirit and Shaker themselves. They would love to have those heroes, but if you can't get those, then you just go ahead and grab a Skywrath Mage. The instant point-click silence is going to screw over Storm Spirit more times than once, and with Axe also, with the ability later on to jump in and get that call, then, well, they'll have some answers to the Storm Spirit. Maybe not the most, maybe they're going to be going for a couple more down the line, but as far as instant responses to the Storm Spirit, you got to go for that Skywrath Mage.
Yeah, I think this is pretty darn good. He does run the risk of just getting jumped on every fight and blown up by a Storm Spirit and a Lion. But still, as far as supports are concerned, I don't think you can really get much better. Outside of that, you have Rubik for an instant initiation, Shadow Shaman, but I don't think we're going to be seeing that, and really not much else. They will put a pretty high priority on the CC still, even with that Skyrath Mage. Spectre actually going to be the band coming up from Pain next.
That's quite a curious pick, though it is very good with the Storm Spirit. You have an insane amount of initiation range, global and with Spectre, and almost global with the Storm Spirit. I think just the threat of Storm Spirit is already going to dissuade a lot of the heroes that Pain Gaming really want to pick up. Like, as you said before, Sniper pretty much off the table now for Pain, or at least a lot more so. And the Spectre is very good against snipers. That's the only real angle I see there, aside from Spectre just being a great late game hero. But I don't know, the inconsistencies of Spectre make it so that most of the time you don't really have to worry about it unless the enemy team is at their fifth pick and they make it really clear that they want to go to late game.
Yeah, for now, we still have a long ways to go until that could be the case. Regardless, Isurus are going to be taking a lot of time considering this next ban out for their team. I think that Rubik should be considered at the very least as a ban, but maybe they have something completely different in mind since it is taking them so much time. They in fact do ban out that Sniper. Honestly, I don't think you would be that scared of it, but Sniper is still an annoying hero to work around.
Yeah, I think it's more the annoyance factor than anything. Like you grab a Blinking Lion and Storm Spirit, and those would, in theory, be just the heroes to deal with Sniper. But you can't always jump on the Sniper, I guess, and he is just very annoying to deal with in lane. Pre-level 6, if it is a Storm Spirit versus Sniper, then it is a fantastic lane for the Sniper, especially if he has any sort of roaming supports coming in. So I think in that regard, it's an okay ban, but I don't really know. If I was Pain, I would not consider Sniper at all versus Storm Spirit. Hey, hello?
Sorry about that. I have other things going on. Apologies. But either way, back to this draft. Clockwork banned out by Pin Gaming.
All right, so seems like Pain are going for a very well. If Sniper wasn't banned out and Storm Spirit wasn't in the pool, then I would say, yeah, it's a pretty clear Sniper pick that they're setting up for. They're getting rid of all the heroes that can very easily close in and abuse the fact that someone on the Pain Gaming side is going to be very fragile. If it's not the Sniper, then who is it going to be, however? Like, and already Storm Spirit's in the pool, so I don't know. I feel like they already have the problem that they're trying to get rid of to deal with, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it definitely does. Let's see, what else could somewhat fit the niche that Sniper does inside Pain Gaming's lineup? Nothing immediately comes to mind. Squishy, long-range, high-damage hero that...
Drow?
Drow? Clinks, even?
Yeah, I mean, they do technically do the same thing, but Drow is just so much worse than Sniper when she's getting jumped by a Storm Spirit. Sniper at least can turn and fight. Drow Ranger can maybe gust and fight, but that is just so rare to see, and losing that marksmanship bonus pretty much kills all your killing potential. So I don't really know if that's going to be the pick here for Pain, although their bans would certainly indicate they're going to go for something around those lines.
Yeah, we'll have to see what it's going to be. Theory crafting, maybe Clinks wouldn't be that bad since there is a Storm Spirit line on the enemy side that are fairly squishy and very susceptible to Orchid ganks, and also Chen with his creep army giving that extra HP to his creeps and being able to instantly take one away and then add it to your own repertoire. I wouldn't be entirely opposed to it, but that's a little bit off the wall. For now, it is the Chen for Isurus. They'll pick that up for Nadera.
Yeah, if you're going to be going for a Clinks, I think he is perfectly viable in certain situations, and up against a Chen, that's definitely one of those situations. You're going to be picking up fifth every single time. I don't even want to say almost every single time. It's going to be every single time because it's so very rare nowadays that you see teams pick Clinks, let alone ban him out. So it might be that Pain want to go for something like that, but for right now, they have a pretty nice combination of Call into Mystic Flare. They don't necessarily need much more than that, and it looks like they won't go for it. Treant Protector as the pick. Didn't really see that one coming. I would have said Treant Protector, much like the Clinks, is usually last pickable.
Yeah, very interesting. Right now, nothing great to combo with it. As far as heroes that do work very well with Tree, maybe they're setting up for a Phoenix. Although Lion is really good at zoning out the Phoenix just by himself, it is going to be against a dual lane, so maybe they feel they can get away with it. But that would also bump the Axe into a different role, so maybe it's not the case altogether. Is this... I honestly don't know what to say about this tree pick. It is going to be nice to have the living armor up against Storm Spirit, I suppose, just so you can always have some way to mitigate its damage across the map, and it's pretty nice early on, but it feels like a tree just picked for the sake of being a tree.
Well, sometimes you just gotta grab a tree, man. They can do some kind of weird axe things in this game, cutting the lane and just having living armor as backup, and then they'll be able to play this very aggressively. Skywrath Mage with spells that do a lot of damage, and Treant Protector with right clicks that do a lot of damage can make it so that dives are very quick, very safe, and very executable for Pain. Though usually in those situations, it's more going to be an Abaddon that you want to grab or a Dazzle. For Pain, fourth pick, it's going to be an anti-mage, and I don't really know where Pain Gaming are going like with their draft in of itself, but anti-mage is very good versus Storm Spirit, so they do have that to work with.
Yeah, and also reasonable against Bristleback, just being able to drain out his mana and stop him from spamming out those quills and goo constantly is pretty nice for your team. And Anti-Mage, as far as carries are concerned, as long as he's given enough space, can do decently well. Although, there is a time inside this game that if Stormspirit picks up a fast Orchid and Lion's there ganking him, he could find himself in a bit of a pickle with just those Orchid into Hex or Spike to follow up. Anti-Mage not very well equipped to survive against that.
Yeah, that is true. The last game would indicate that Pain are probably going to be capable of protecting a carry hero. Like they were able to protect two last game, and that's just usually never seen. This game, Azurus are going for inherently a more aggressive lineup that is indicated through the Chen pick and the Bristleback pick as well. So this anti-mage is going to be under a lot more pressure than any hero of Pain was under in the last game. So they do have to worry about that, but they have so many tools to defend the anti-mage. Like they have the living armor to buy him a little bit more time. They have blinking axes eventually, which will be able to protect the anti-mage. So it's a fine pick right now for Pain. It looks like they're going to go for a mid hero next. Quap, Puck, even Sniper already banned out. So I don't know who they're going to be going for. Maybe a Wexvoker?
That would not be bad at all. The amount of mana burn that would bring to the table and control could be very annoying for Isurus to deal with. I wouldn't be opposed to a Wexvoker at all, but Isurus' last, it's going to be a TB.
Huh. So oh man. Well, we got the Invoker. Okay, so there's that, but Terrorblade, when he was, the hero that everyone wanted to pick, when he was the kind of experimental but also kind of serious, like we're just going to grab Terrorblade because he's a super late game carry pick, the shutdown pick was that Skywrath Mage, because what Terrorblade has in armor to help him survive, he lacks in just sheer health pool. So a Mystic Flare most of the time is just going to outright kill him off. And now with the Invoker as well, this Terrorblade isn't really going to be facing down the most magical damage in the world, but it's still definitely going to be enough to kill him off. So it's a late game hero for sure for Azurus, and they have the type of heroes that can hold down the fort for a late game Terrorblade. The question is, will he actually be able to do anything with that farm given the amount of burst on the enemy side?
Yeah, that's a question that we'll see answered in just a couple minutes or in the next following minutes. HFN going to be playing on the Invoker for the Pain side. He's currently buddied up with Tavo on the Axe as they go up towards the top lane. King RD going to be trailing behind on the Skywrath Mage. Bottom lane, ADR going to be playing on the Anti-Mage, leaving last but not least our Tree and Protector, which I somehow completely missed, played by Baga. They'll bump into fullback, but for now, Boots first online are going to buy him more than enough space.
Well, as you said, fullback is going to be playing that line. Pipita on the Terrorblade. They're going to have Nadera on the Chen over towards mid. DDX is going to be playing the Storm Spirit, and then down towards bottom, Dulce is going to be playing the Bristleback alone down there. Fullback is going to be fully zoned out of this lane. 4 heroes up on top for Pain. Doesn't really mean that much as far as their lanes are concerned, except for the fact that Anti-Mage looking to go down here maybe by himself. He's already used 2 blinks. I don't really know why, but it happened. If he does go 1v1 versus the Bristleback, it's actually not a terrible lane for the Anti-Mage.
No, it's definitely not, but whether that actually ends up being the case or otherwise is still yet to be seen. The aggressive potential coming out from Pain is reasonable, but not immediately what comes to mind. Both teams this time are going to trade when it comes to the Bounty Runes 1-1, as we saw in game number 1. The Tree and Protector looks to be going down towards bottom after blocking for the Invoker and just be running pulls, but yeah, as you said, this is a completely reasonable 1v1 lane for the Anti-Mage, even without having the Skywrath Mage here to zone.
Well, Skywrath Mage Axe is a dangerous lane, as Axe usually lacks the closing purposes to actually land a call, though Concussive Shot isn't really the best up against someone like Terrorblade or Lion. If you do manage to close in the distance, you're pretty much instantly going to get that kill. So it's a 2v2 lane up towards top, and this is where Terrorblade is really lacking. This is where Axe is going to be an absolute powerhouse. So this is a lane that I expect Pain to get a slight edge in. Taking a look over towards mid, though, Invoker is going for what looks like a Wex build.
Yeah, as you already talked about a little bit inside the draft, I think it's pretty good this game. Being able to drain out mana from Storm Spirit is another way to somewhat deal with his mobility, as he's not able to do anything without having the mana to utilize Ball Lightning. Full back up towards top. is playing a dangerous game with this Axe and Scarrath mage. Although the Terrorblade does have 10 armor at this point to somewhat deal with the counter helix, Lion is not so lucky. If he gets caught out, could be completely dead.
Even though he does have that 10 armor and spins will be doing a lot less than usual, even if you just land the Berserker's Call so that the Scarrath Mage can land 1 or 2 Arcane Bolts, is going to mean that the mana spent is going to be most of the time worth it for Pain. So killing off Terrorblade, though a lot more difficult because of the amount of armor he has, is definitely not impossible. And I think it's possible even to the point where if you're Axe, obviously you don't get level 2 Battle Hunger when you get Counter Helix, but going for Battle Hunger in this lane doesn't actually seem too terrible.
No, I would not be opposed to it. If there ever was a lane to go for Battle Hunger, this one might be it. Tava is going to start cutting the creeps in a pretty easy fashion. Like, there's not much that they can do to punish this, especially if there's any heals offered by Baga. For now, the tree has been very quiet inside the bottom lane. He doesn't have pulls available to him, or at least pull-throughs, as the Dire did block out that medium camp. He'll stack up for his anti-mage, but eventually he'll get into this game. For now, it's not the case, and I don't think he's really needed. Both of their solo laners are doing just fine for themselves. ADR is farming decently up against the Bristleback, and mid lane Invoker is also doing just fine against the Storm, even though a little bit less so.
And if anyone does get into a little bit of trouble, then he'll just level up that living armor, though it only will be level 1. He really can't be doing anything else than what he's doing right now. So this tree is going to be played very passively, but as you said, he's not really needed in this game because ADR going up against the Bristleback, relatively even. Bristleback completely out of mana right now, and ADR only going with 1 point mana break can put a lot of easy damage onto Dulce. Really, it's only just the creeps and the potential Bristleback passive Quill Spray that's going to worry ADR at all in this lane, because he is not going to die ever to a Bristleback solo.
And right now he has a double damage tree in his lane too, so the Bristleback can't actually come up to this unless he gets punched by Baga. And at this point, doing upwards of 160 damage a pop, it's very scary. The Tree Protector has also managed to find himself a level 2, so he is not shy to punch that Leech Seed into the Bristleback.
And then over towards mid, looks like Invoker and Storm Spirit going to go toe-to-toe with one another. No one really taking an advantage there. Invoker going for that early Null Talisman is, you either go for that or you go for Blades of Attack straight up if you're going to go for Wex, or at least those are usually big indications that you're going to be doing that. Helps you with your low-ish base damage, and he's keeping more or less on par the base damage of DDX. HFN's going to get a little bit of help going towards DDX. He's silenced up. Storm Spirit getting a hit with the EMP, not quite going to be lethal, but they will kill him off in the end. Wraparound from King RD, and Invoker is going to draw, or Scarrath Mage rather, is going to draw First Blood on the enemy Storm Spirit. That's big.
It really is. This is going to help out Pain a lot when it comes to their laning phase, and also Tava is not hurt by this rotation either. Just a nice movement coming out from Pain. And it is going to be at least 1 point up into the Battle Hunger coming out from Tavo. He's going to use that to pull over the creep wave towards the sidelines. The Lion's trying to interrupt this as best he can, and it looks like he's going to succeed, although fullback can't get too close. 1-2 spins, and he's gone.
Well, he's going to get a call. Yeah, go ahead.
Catches out on the Pepita, although he's not spinning enough, and with the Metamorphosis damage, looks like Tavo's going to end up going down. Gets clapped as well by the Hellbear Smasher coming in from Nadera.
Yeah, Nadera coming in was just the nail in the coffin. He maybe could have gotten away with it if not for those 2 extra very large damage creeps. DDX over in mid, once again going to get jumped. He's tried to go for HFN, but Invoker knew that he had King RD right around the corner. Scarrath Mage all the way up to level 4 now. And Invoker with 2 kills, or at least 2 kill participations under his belt, with now the phase boots completed. And Storm Spirit so close to that level 6, and if he had it, he would have been probably fine, maybe fine, but now that the Invoker has more points in Wex, now that the Scarrath Mage has more levels of Ancient Seal, not even Ball Lightning is going to keep the Storm Spirit completely safe.
No, it's really scary game for the Storm Spirit, and just not having a good time when it comes to the lanes. Anti-Mage is starting to pick up ground over the Bristleback too, as at this point Dulce can't put as much pressure as he'd like to onto the Anti-Mage. Even though he only went for 1 point into the mana break, it's still enough to keep Dulce from spamming out the quills as much as he needs to actually control things. Rotation in mid, coming out from fullback, as well as Nadera's. They want to help out their Storm Spirit. They'll smoke up behind enemy lines, or behind their own lines, and look to make a wraparound onto HFN happen, and it looks like they might just succeed. The Invoker isn't playing defensively enough, although he's going to go very aggressively onto DDX. The mana drain is going to hurt a lot, and with the Tornado, the damage is there. He kills off the Storm and might just survive with Phase Boot's movement speed, as well as 3 points up into the Wax, 4 points now. HFN, he's home free.
Man, it's It's so rare that you see DDX, of all players, getting smashed in the mid lane, and DDX playing Storm to boot. HFN's even going to TP straight back to his mid tier 1 tower, so that rotation completely nullified by the fact that Invoker has such a crushing level advantage over the Storm Spirit. He's 3 levels over the enemy mid laner, and that is absolutely huge when you're dealing with an Invoker. He has a lot of burst damage right now. Usually the weakness of the Wex Invokers that he doesn't have that until pretty much ever. But after getting a couple extra levels, he's going to get that and full back up towards top. He's going to get caught with a call, and he will get called down. At the same time, Dulce, oh, he's invisible, so he's going to be fine for right now. But Pain, they're winning on the mid lane, destroying the mid lane, in fact. They're farming on the bottom lane Anti-Mage, and even top lane Axe is doing very well. All 3 lanes for Pain are just going amazingly for them.
Yeah, the only thing that Isurus really have going their way is that they have a Terrorblade that's getting decent farm. But TP, as far as heroes are concerned, can't do as much with that amount of gold as an Invoker can, and really takes a longer time to get online, and that's met as well by the free farming Anti-Mage. Not really free farming, but ADR is doing just fine for himself, top of the net worth chart, as well as last hits. Mid lane, they're going to look to make this gank happen on HFN, but he's too fast. With phase boots and with the Wex, he's able to keep himself completely safe. Fullback can't bridge the gap at this point.
422 movement speed. It is so difficult to close in. DDX had to be the one to actually do it first, and he's going to be that person right now, pulling the Invoker right into a spike. However, there is a tornado there to help him disengage. He's going to get double stomped. HFN looking to die right now regardless, but he will stick up, and he is still alive. Now into the Ghost Walk he goes. With the EMP, he'll kill off one. On Tindera, fullback gonna dust. HFN not going to get hit with that last right click. He still has Centaurs to deal with, but in the meantime, Scarth Mage is cleaning up. HFN gets to live, and that gank just went so south. The second time Isurus tried that, and it went even worse than the first.
Yeah, it's scary. HFN's actually going to go for an urn, too, and although it's not an item we've been seeing a lot on Invokers, right now it's actually really good. With Cold Snap, once you have 4 points up in your quest, you can't do anything about that once you get earned as well as Cold Snapped up.
And it is going to help encourage him to play this game aggressively, which is exactly what you want to do with Wex Invokers. This game, fortunately for him, he doesn't actually have to move because Isurus are constantly bringing the party to him. But with this urn, he will be able to just do so much, and now he could even start looking towards the top lane, where Terrorblade has been pushing it out. Already a tier 1 tower has dropped, pretty much Terrorblade doing Terrorblade things there, but he's not going to be, with guaranteed safety in this game, especially since HFN is now pretty willing to go around and kill people with his crushing level advantage. Like, fullback is only level 4 in this mid lane. If HFN wanted to, he could just go straight for fullback and kill him off.
Yeah, I think so. Right now, Invoker actually backs off for a very early point into an Exhort. What do you think this is for? Alacrity for the Anti-Mage?
Probably that, or just to add a little bit more CC with the Deafening Blast. Like, when you have so many points in Wex and Quas, then Deafening Blast is not a damaging tool, it's a pure disarm pushback tool. And up against Storm Spirit, that might be what they want. It's not really going to cost him that much in the long run, I don't think.
Oh no, especially considering that he's level 9 compared to his lane opponent who's level 7 at this point. I think it's not really going to damage anything at all. And it looks like after the fact he'll go for an Orchid. He has another Sage's Mask on top of his completed urn. For now, HFN hasn't made any rotations, and that might cost them a little bit. The tier 1 tower up towards top is going to fall to the Terrorblade and his illusions.
Yeah, but because that tier 1 tower is down, and well, we saw this in the last game when the Juggernaut was up here, he was constantly threatening whoever would come up here to farm. Terrorblade does not have that same amount of threat, and he never really will. So the tree is actually going to get a couple levels, and over towards the mid lane, Tabo's going to open up with a Blink Dagger onto DDX. He's silenced, he's out of mana, and he's going to lose his life. Storm Spirit 0, 4, and 0 in this game, and HFN with yet another kill. Also, Tabo showing off his Blink Dagger, which was huge in actually getting that kill, but this mid lane is just a do not cross zone for Isurus. Whoever goes there is most likely just going to get jumped.
Yeah, and this is really bad for Isurus in all honesty. Storm Spirit's the hero that needs to be the one to make things happen for them. Nobody else really cuts the cake in that department. Bristleback can run at them. Lion can run at them. Terrorblade can hit them with illusions. But unless you have that Storm Spirit to open up with the jump, it just doesn't really cut it. Another Invis rune on the Bristleback going to keep him alive. And he'll be safe to farm up this stack, but even Dulce isn't having a good enough time to really warrant the rest of the lanes from Isurus not accomplishing anything. Anti-Mage going to be well on his way towards his battle free.
They're going to jump in for Baga. He's already invisible, though. Do they have any detection? They do have the dust. However, there's an axe here. There's an invoke here as well. Tavo's going to get a nice call in the trees, and HFN's going to open up onto fullback. He will not save his tree and protector, but he will now start chasing out the Chen, and he will get that kill as well. The Chen's last dying breath, he sent the Storm Spirit back to the base, but Pain, they were prepared and then some for that jump onto the tree. And though the tree did end up dying, more kills for the axe, more kills for the invoker. So worth it for Pain to take that trade.
This is scary. The amount of control that Pain have with the Axe and Invoker is ridiculous at this point. The Lion wasn't able to do anything, and the tree survived a lot longer than he rightfully should have, and now with level 6, the Tree and Protector is almost fully online, and really it feels like Isurus just aren't doing anything. Pain are the ones to dictate the pace of this game, and even when they try to make these kills happen in their favor, they end up just getting a face full of tornadoes and blinking and axes. It's not working.
It was the first couple kills in the Storm Spirit that made going for the Invoker at all just so dangerous. He had such a huge lead, and without Ball Lightning, without those extra levels really on Storm Spirit to get that additional nuking damage, they can't really do that much. I said in the draft that Isurus are inherently more aggressive, but the Chen and Lion have only made one successful real rotation on top lane. That was when Axe was kind of going on the aggressive first, so these two support heroes for Isurus not doing much. Storm Spirit, only level 7, 11 minutes in the game, won't be doing much. And Terrorblade, he has a Yasha, but he still needs a lot more before you get to that full 6-slotted status. And compare that to the anti-mages farm, who's going to be racing, it's going to be hard to keep up. So Isurus, I guess their Bristleback is still doing okay, but he needs to be actually doing something with that 2,100 gold in his bank account.
Yeah, and even if he gets something along the lines of Vanguard or Power Treads and some other small items for his team, it's problematic. Right now, it's a game of catch-up for Isurus. They need the Storm Spirit to pick up something, anything, really, to help him fight. Right now, he just has one naked robe of the Magi inside his inventory, and that's pretty much it. This is the saddest Storm I've seen for quite some time. He's closer to the Skywrath Mage in net worth than he is to the Invoker by a long shot.
And that's... well, that says two things. First of all, Storm Spirit not getting too much. Second of all, King RD made some really good rotations as the Skywrath Mage. He's been sitting on this mid lane, I want to say almost exclusively, but I'm pretty sure he's been roaming around to the top lane as well. But the Skywrath Mage is 302. He has Mystic Flare, plus he's gone and got ahead and maxed out the Ancient Seal. Got to get that additional CC or the additional silence effect down when you're going up against the likes of a Storm Spirit. But he has kill potential and then some. In fact, he has so much. I think he might be able to solo kill a Storm Spirit with that Mystic Flare.
If not solo kill him, get very close to it. With less than 800 HP on the Storm, with Ancient Seal amplifying it, I think he does.
Yeah, I think it is very close to being a kill. And I mean, the odds of him being alone and trying to get that kill are very low, so there will be allies with him. So that's a very bad place to be in if you're Isurus. Like, not only just the Storm Spirit, who's threatening 100-0. Also, the Terrorblade, who's very soft at this point. The Chen is paper. The Lion is even more so paper. Like, really, it's only the Bristleback who's not a clean 100-0 kill for the Skywrath Mage. But even then, if you have anyone helping out, they could very easily get that kill. The Skywrath Mage is getting so much more than Skywrath Mages usually do, and that's only with having one last hit. He's just feeding off of enemy heroes. And I guess why kill creeps when you could kill enemy heroes?
Yeah. Well, we're paused, and hopefully this doesn't take too much longer. I have no idea why we're stuck.
I think that was fullback, right? I don't know.
He just said sec. That's it.
They need a rallying speech, I'm sure, because right now, like, it doesn't seem like they have much going for them. They need to get a montage going. They need to train up and come out as new and improved heroes, Rocky style.
Excellent. Okay, well, now that the Rocky montage is completed, Isurus are pumped and ready to get back into this game. Let's see if they can do it. I think a lot rests on the back of the Bristleback and Terrorblade for these next couple of minutes.
Well, I'm just going to put a note out there. In Rocky 1, he lost the fight, so even with the montage, it doesn't have any guarantees.
Alrighty, I don't know how to follow that up. It's
an elaborate metaphor, but it's an awesome one.
Yes.
I know you're speechless.
We'll just leave it at that. Okay, so for now, Pain are under no real great pressure to take the fight to Isurus, but they can, so I don't think there's a reason why they shouldn't. Bug up towards top does have his ultimate at the ready and is invised and is going to bump into Nadera here. Let's see, with the Invoker coming in from the sidelines, I think this Chen is dead.
Yeah, you just need to leech seed him and then just beat him down with EMP and Tornado and stuff like that. Nadera might have seen like a little bit of invis shimmer there because he did recast it. But it doesn't seem like he is aware of this. And actually, they're stalking bigger prey as Pepita is jungling alone in the jungle. They're going to go on the wrong one, however. Will it matter? They're going to land the EMP on Pepita with the Mystic Flare there as well. He has a Sunder. Can't quite use it. Hand of God. Going to keep him healthy. Earn charge. Number 1 doing some damage, but it's going to be fullback who's going to take the brunt, actually. He's going to get his head chopped off. TP coming in from GDX. Looks like he's going to try to go for an axe, but he has a haste, so it's not going to be doing anything. GDX now going to get silenced. He runs straight into the tree, straight to FHFN as well, and now he's going to lose his life as well. Cole going to miss. GDX is actually going to live because of it. Nadera trying to go for someone in the meantime. HFN and King RD taking quite a bit of damage, and they will take out the Scarif Mage with the help of that Stomp. It will still be a 2-for-1 as the Axe was able to chase down that Storm Spirit with the rest of that Haste Rune, but all things considered for Isurus, things could have gone a lot worse. They might even catch Tavo on the retreat. That will give Lion his level 6. They need more heroes here. Tavo is going to get walled off by Dulce. He's going to turn around and man fight because that's what Axes do. But I don't really think he has a clean escape here. He's going to try to go for an illusion, which for the second time has gotten some serious value. But for Isurus, that fight probably couldn't have gone any better for them.
In the meantime, Anti-Mage has been farming away and finds himself with a 13-minute Battle of Fury treads and is doing pretty good for himself, even with that less than optimal fight. EMP Tornado combination onto Nadera is going to pretty much 100 to 0 him, and well, HFN will sneak in another last hit and find himself yet another pick-off, even though Pain do leak a couple of heroes after the fact. This Invoker is still snowballing out of control.
And Invoker is really all you need, and of course the Anti-Mage has not been participating at all in this game because he has a free lane to himself. He has the Power Treads completed, plus that Battle Fury. Pretty sure there's going to be a Yasha incoming in his near future, but really he can go for whatever he wants because he is under literally no pressure and has been in this entire game. Invoker and company have been holding down the fort, and HFN at this point with that Orchid is so powerful that he could go look for solo kills in 1v2, maybe even 1v3 scenarios. He probably won't go in the 1v3, but he probably can do it if he wasn't so inclined. Lion is walking around with a gem though, so that might pose a threat to the Invoker, but if he runs into someone else, say a random Storm Spirit or a random Terrorblade, then that Lion's gem is not going to be doing much for him.
No, definitely not. And if they can get this gem, that could be disastrous for Isurus. Right now, that's pretty much all that's standing between them and the Invis ganks coming out from Pain. HFN is going to bump into the real Terrorblade, and he's going to find him with the Orchid as well as the Urn popped onto him. Pepita looks like he's just going to fall, even with no tornadoes spent. Orchid tick, tornado damage, and HFN finishes him with style.
Yeah, you don't have to look at that kill because you know it's going to explode. In the meantime, Isurus, they're smoked up as 3 behind 4 heroes of Pain, or 3 heroes actually. Tavo is going to reveal the smoke, going to get hexed up as well, but he has a Vanguard, he has living armor, he is very difficult to actually kill off. They're going to try to do it anyway. With the Finger of Death, they might be able to bring him down. It looks like they will just fall short. Leech Seed comes out in time, Tavo's going to survive, and they also turn things around to kill off Nadera, plus Lion as well. ADR going to jump forward for GDX, Manvoid not quite going to do the job, but a couple more right clicks will. They don't even get the axe. That's what happens when you try to go for the tankiest hero on the enemy side. You get punished.
They even got a good test of faith roll too. Honestly, I don't think much better goes for Isurus there if you are going to open up onto the axe. And under the Tower of the Courier, what are you doing here? Chop down is... Oh my goodness, that poor shitty wizard. He is a pile of blood.
And it's not good to be a pile of blood. I don't speak from experience, but I'm pretty sure it's not what you want to have happen to yourself. Mid lane tower is going to take a little bit of damage. It's probably defendable by Isurus' Pain. Really lacked the right-click damage from their heroes to actually go ahead and kill off these towers, but they're going to try to go for Dulce instead. He's silenced up. He's going to lose all of his mana. He's also in possession of the gem. If they can kill him off, that'll be huge. He is not without supports, however. GDX and fullback going to come right in. Axe, though, going to be more than happy to make the jump onto fullback as DDX leaps forward for the Invoker, but DDX does not have enough to kill off HFN right now. He needs more help, especially if he's silenced. HFN going to turn around and man fight DDX right now, and looks like DDX doesn't really have much going for him. He's triple silence or something like that. He's going to take a fall. They're going to try to look for the last hero, Dulce. That's the hero that they wanted to kill off because he had the gem, but still 2 for 0, and that's it. That's it.
They call it 16.5 minutes in. Pain find themselves with a very fast series. And this game number 2, so commanding a lead. At this point, I really don't blame Isurus for tapping out. They just couldn't find anything going their way. the Stormstrick getting crushed in mid. Nice rotations coming out from the Skyrath Mage, and really HFN impressed me on his Invoker play, and this game was more or less won 3v5. The Anti-Mage and the Tree Protector to a lesser extent really weren't involved at all until the last couple of engagements.
And that's fantastic for Pain. It's a little bit of a bummer for ADR because you were not needed and you could have just easily not been there and your team still would have won. But you know what? A win is a win for Pain, and that means they have a future date with CNB. Probably two of the favorites to win the entire thing, and that'll be a hell of a series.
Yeah, definitely should be. That'll be... I'm not exactly sure when the date is, but if you follow us on Twitter and Facebook, you'll be able to find out before we go live. And, well, you can find us at both of those locations at HeflaTV. The VODs will be uploaded to youtube.com/HeflaMoke, so even if you miss a game, that's where you can catch it later. I've been GrandisV, and he's been Mikelorus, and for now, here on our Hitbox channel, that's going to be it for the evening. Thanks for watching, and hope to see you on some future South America Challenge games.